right, welcome back to Mark's Garage. In this episode, I'm next to my good friend Umberto, and today's going to be a lot of fun because we're talking BMW motorcycles. Got my BMW gear on, hat, you got your hat on. Specifically, we're talking about the RT motorcycles. And right behind me is my 2020 BMW RT 1250. And what we're going to do is we're going to compare the 1250. We're going to talk about this 1250 versus the 1300, which Umberto, you've owned that now for about 2 months.
Yep, still over that.
You've made it through the very first service period.
Correct.
How many miles are on it?
About 675.
Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about the 1250 that I own. Then, in about 15 minutes, we're going to go over to Umberto's garage. And we'll be next to his 1300, and we're going to get some of your impressions about what has it been like so far, and certainly all the features of a brand new model, ground up, all of that. So, and then finally, as we talk about the 1250 versus the 1300, when we get to spring, and when we get to good riding, we're going to do a swap. I'm going to ride his 1300, he's going to ride the 1250, and then we're going to talk about that. So that's coming in another episode, but anyway, that's what's coming.
Actual impressions.
Yes. To let you know, today's video is sponsored by thebigcheese.com right here in Plymouth, Wisconsin, my hometown. What a great opportunity to order some of Wisconsin's finest cheddar cheese. In fact, 13-year aged cheddar. They also have cheese spreads. They have popcorn. There's gift boxes. You can buy in bulk if you want. There's party boxes. So you really want to check this out. Because you are watching this episode of Mark's Garage, there is a promo code on the screen right now. And if you use that promo code, you're going to get 15% off your order. Please check out thebigcheese.com and enjoy some amazing Wisconsin cheese. All right, we're back. The 1250, which I own, there's a number of standout features on this bike that are pretty neat for me. And I've got a number of videos that I produced to talk about when I bought it, what are the top features, some of the rides. But what I would tell you mostly is that when I go on a trip, so if I'm doing an all-day trip or if I'm doing a multi-day trip, I'm either taking the Honda Goldwing or I'm taking the BMW RT. And that's due to the characteristics of its ability to tour, be comfortable, wind protection, fun to ride, all of that kind of stuff. And so that stands out to me. It's really one of BMW's flagship touring models. The 1600s are at the top in terms of what they market, but I think the 1250 and now the 1300 is really a package that I think a lot of people are going to like. And so looks, I've got some photos that I'll show you. The looks of this bike to me are somewhat timeless. They've done a great job with design and how the bike looks. You never get tired of looking at it. You never look at it and go, I'm not sure if I like that anymore. Now the new one, which we're going to look at here in a little bit, they've done really a whole new level of look, and that's pretty neat. The engine that's in this is the 1250, the Boxer twin, water-cooled, air-cooled. The neat thing for me, and I have a video that I'll put a link in, is the shift cam motor. So what happens is at low speed, low engine RPM, you get fuel economy, you get smooth running. But if you really want to get on it and go, the cam profile will shift over to a performance deal.
Yes.
The horsepower comes up and you can feel it. And we'll put a link again for that video that you get to ride along with me and you'll get to actually hear it and see it of how that works. And that's really good. And at the high cam profile, you're at about 136 horsepower with this bike. Your new one is another notch up from that. I think about 143.
Right.
But so that's a little bit about the engine.
Well, Mark, it's an interesting observation that you just made, because as I was thinking about this morning, I thought, what is it that attracts us riders all over to certain motorcycles? Where does it start? I know I can tell you easily, I'm Italian, so I'm kind of prone to that. The first thing that must click with me is, how does the bike look? In my eyes, of course. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. We all know that.
Righto.
And that's the first thing. And you go from there, all right, this is awesome. Now let's see what else I can get with this package. What else comes with it?
That's where we go to the engine right after that, right?
Correct. But it's a good observation you made. Love the looks of the 1250.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm going to jump the gun a little bit,
No.
but I think I shared that with you. My touring bike of choice is a Yamaha FJR 1300. The bike came out in Europe in 2003. Following year came to America with the ABS, and I've had an FJR since then. 21 years, my touring bike of choice. But I visit with Mark from time to time. He shares me his interests, his likes, dislikes, cars, motorcycles, what have you. And the 1250 got my attention.
Yeah.
And then you and I were talking about this maybe a little over a year ago, actually, a year and a half ago. And I thought maybe it'd be nice to have a second touring bike. If you got one, you might as well have two.
Yeah.
Maybe you can change, whatever. And I thought the 1250, very attractive bike, very attractive. The V-twin, the opposed twin, love that engine. It's on my 9T, BMW R9T, as you know, like it. But when I went to look into it, lo and behold, now BMW's got this R1300 in the making. And that was a year later until they officially introduced it. You know that. We conversed about that.
Yeah.
A very good observation on your part. So.
All right, we are back with talking about a couple more things on the 1250. Here's what stands out to me: wind protection and luggage. Okay, so we talked about if I'm going all day or multi-day, you definitely want to have good wind protection, and you want to have the ability to store goods and haul your stuff, especially if you're staying overnight. And the 1250 RT does a great job with that. So the stock windscreen, which is still on the bike, is terrific. It has extra wind wings right above the mirrors. And then the body work, which includes kind of the lower fairing and right around the engine design, it all works extremely well. So you can be comfortable. Then you back that up with all the heated accoutrements, grips, seat, and you can ride all day, and you can ride in cooler weather. And so that really stands out to me. And I think with the new one we're going to look at, they've taken that to another level of extending comfort to riders and passengers. So we'll talk about that. And the luggage overall, I have a top case that's optional that I can slip into the top case holder. The panniers come on and off. I shot a little video of that. We'll show that right now about how the panniers come on and off. And the system on the new 1300 is a little different.
It is indeed.
How they manage that. We'll take a look at that at your place. So those are just a few of the thoughts on the R1250. I've had it now for 5 years. I'm coming up, I think this spring, I'm going to put a new battery in it because I got 5 years out of this battery.
Good.
Don't want to get stranded.
No, we don't want to.
And
that's happened before.
Yeah. So what do you think? I think we should head over to your garage.
Sounds good.
Let's take a look at the R1300. And let's talk about that. There's a lot to talk about. A lot of new.
A lot of new stuff. But, it's good to always remember the past.
Yeah.
It's always good.
Right.
By the way, my all-wheel drive is on in the truck.
It is. Okay.
So I think we'll make it.
Yeah. It is the middle of winter here.
Okay. About 9, 12 inches, whatever that is out there.
14.
Okay.
All right.
Even better.
All right, we are over at the Davi Motorsports Garage, but actually we are in the trailer that is currently housing the R1300 RT that Umberto owns. And the reason we're going to do this in the trailer is because this is where he's had it stored. It didn't make sense to be taking it out here in the middle of winter. So we're in the trailer, and also joining us, cameo appearance, the guy in the back, Jeff Gelzer. There's nothing going on today anyway, so we should hang around and talk about bikes and all the fun stuff that we're going to do, like that trip on Route 66 and all of that. So here we are, the R1300 RT. You've been able, Umberto, to put on a little more than 600 miles and get through the very first service interval. Let's just start off with talking a little bit about what has the early riding of this bike been like for you? Just talk a little bit about that.
Well, Mark, good morning to you again, and good morning to everybody again. You and I have had lots of conversations about this. The learning curve from my standpoint, it's been rather steep, and I'm still trying to figure out the gradient that I'm on. But it's been a constant learning curve. Now, I think your viewers know, that my bike of choice, touring bike, is the Yamaha FJR 1300. It's better than a well-worn pair of jeans, better than a well-worn pair of shoes. It's just, we are symbiotically connected, if you will. But the bike has some technology on it since 2015 when Yamaha decided to do that. And I felt pretty good about being able to handle the computer integration, your gauges and all that stuff. I still have to rely on you to help me set the odometer, though.
That's all
I
right.
will confess to that. Thank God he's around. But this thing here is what they call a quantum leap. A quantum leap.
There's a lot of technology that BMW has integrated into this model.
Now, Mark, you know that I started life with a typewriter and carbon paper. That's how I started. And the little eraser with the little brush on top on the pencil. So where things are at today just boggles my mind. As it boggles the mind of many. But this is an incredible motorcycle.
Yeah.
I've been ridden for well over 55 years. Incredible motorcycle. As you commented earlier, a radical departure from the 1250. And as I noted, I was interested in getting a second touring bike in addition to the Yamaha. And when I went to look at the 1250, this popped up, which was the BMW was working on it. And lo and behold, a year and a couple months later, they officially unveiled it. It's been exciting and worrisome at the same time.
You're learning.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're learning.
It's absolutely, but wonderful experience. Even though Jeff is making a cameo appearance, he helped me break it in. Right, Jeff?
That's correct.
Yeah, it was a nice trip you guys did up to Marquette, Michigan, and just a nice ride from this area
overnight,
up and back,
yeah,
right?
Up, how many miles? 450 maybe, something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So it was
close to 500, yeah.
Exactly. They got me, only had 98 miles on the bike. I told Jeff I need to get some enough miles on it. Maybe the viewers know this, but you know that BMW will give you a complimentary break-in check, if you will, change the oil, look at everything over if you do it within 6 months, first 6 months of ownership, and if you have less than 750 miles. I believe that's they put those limits in there. So I was anxious to do that in light of the fact that the season was soon ending.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What about, let's talk a little bit about what it was like to drive. Just talk a little bit about, because this is a brand new engine platform, 1300 cc. It does have the shift cam like the 1250, but just talk a little bit about throttle and response and how that feels, and then also a little bit, what about handling, cornering, and how does it feel? How do you like it?
Well, when the bike came in, and I have an interesting analogy for all the Harley riders out there. I've not been an Harley rider at all during my entire career of riding motorcycles. When I picked it up with the trailer when it was delivered to me. I didn't ride it down here. It was a one-man job. I brought it back. And I was really intimidating is what applies. Now, I'm not a super bike rider, but I consider to be a skilled rider. I've been putting together almost
absolutely.
100,000 miles.
Blank screen.
It's okay.
Oh,
So I brought it here, and I needed to take it up. I wanted to put crash bars on the engine, and I wanted BMW crash bars. And they ordered them, but they were slow coming in. But I rode the bike up there to get them installed. And it's about 55 miles to get to De Pere, Wisconsin from Elkhart Lake, which is where Tytler's Motorcycles is. And I can tell you, I was like a neophyte riding this bike. It was all self-induced. But I'm like, I don't know anything about it. I didn't have time, like everything else in my life, to read the manual ahead of time.
Well, you got to start somewhere. Might as well start with the first ride.
Are you like baptism by fire, jump in the pool and then figure out if the water is warm enough or what? So I rode very gingerly. I did. I mean, 60, 65, and it was interesting. Well-poised bike. Well-poised. Different feel than the FJR, which is the only touring bike I can compare it to. Agile. Agile. I learned about the agility of this bike. It came to me when I went for a test ride at the dealer. Just a local test ride. Immediately I thought, wow, this thing is agile. Yeah. It happens to be a very similar weight to my FJR, so I felt comfort in that. It'll flip itself nicely. Now, Mark, maybe we should talk a little bit about this bike. You can get what may be referred to as an automatic. My test bike had that. It annoyed the hell out of me right away because it shifted when I didn't want to shift locally. Yeah. So I switched to the manual mode, and that convinced me that I needed to get a 6-speed manual with the bike. So the agility, the braking, perfect, all nice. Trying to get accustomed to everything. The technology came slow, and it's still coming.
There's a lot going on.
Oh, God.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the handling, because I'm going to bring in what I know with the 1250, and I know how some of that transfers to the 1300. So BMW has really legendary suspension technology. The front is known as telelever. The rear is known as paralever.
Correct.
And so when I ride, and if I'm riding with you or we're doing spirited riding, the RT has a characteristic of really wanting to tip into corners. Yeah. The bike will tip in very easily and then apply throttle, and it really handles.
It embraces the corners.
That this has got the same type of suspension with automatic monitoring road conditions, dynamic ride control, all that kind of thing. How did you feel cornering with this?
Excellent.
Yeah.
It loves corners. Yeah. Bring them on. Bring them on, and you have a high degree of comfort going into those corners, and you can do some spirited speeds while you're on it. The bike will give you all the assurances that you need as a rider, when you're trying to navigate that. No qualms at all, and fantastic, a lot more sophisticated than my FJR, which is a 2001 model with about 20,000 miles on it. So, no, hands down there, I'll share with the viewers a little experience when we were on the ride to Marquette, whenever you think it's appropriate.
Okay.
Well, I did not know anything about that. I know the bike has cruise control, of course. Most of the bikes have today, if not all of them. This is and maybe you'll know probably, an intelligent cruise control.
Adaptive cruise. I'm sitting right in front of the radar unit right here, and it's got radar on the back as well for blind spot monitoring. But so what happened? So
all the groups knows this. I am the last person on all our rides. I love that place. It's comfortable for me. I can adjust to that. I only have to worry about certain things. And I put my cruise control on, and the group, 3 other riders came with us to Marquette, right? We have a total of 5. So, and that was thanks to Jeff. He put all that together. And I'm sitting back there, and I go to slow down, do something. Normally I click the cruise control 1 mile at a time, down or up, whatever I need. This thing does it by itself. It's amazing. I can't believe this. It focuses the radar on the rider in front of you, and then it will adjust the speed accordingly, and it will keep and maintain about a 6 bike distance from the bike in front of you.
So you were impressed with it.
Oh, I was blown away.
I think it's a question a lot of riders have today. How will adaptive cruise work on a motorcycle? Because most of us have it in our cars, and sometimes it doesn't really work that well in our cars. There's these little glitches, and the brakes will jam on. You don't want that going on a motorcycle, but so your first experience with adaptive cruise, the BMW system, really good.
Awesome. It's just unbelievable. I agree with you. Good observation about the cars. I don't like it on a car.
Okay.
It just drives me crazy.
Okay.
It's never on. But with this, the radar, if you get the radar to focus on a motorcycle, now mind you, a motorcycle is a minute width, so you have to be smart enough to be behind the motorcycle. If you go to the left or right, it will not work.
Okay.
Because the radar goes on to the next object.
So that's part of the learning curve.
Correct. But it works perfect. It'll go down to 20 miles an hour through towns.
Wow.
And then get yourself up at moderately, nicely, very smooth to 60, 65. So the trick with that is you put it at about 3-4 miles higher than the group is riding. And groups, you go, it's the rubber band effect. We always have that. The bike will do flawlessly.
All right, we're back. We're going to talk a little bit about the Luggage. BMW really nailed it with what they did with panniers, top case, and all of that. But let's just talk about the panniers briefly. So, you saw me take off the pannier on the 1250, all new design here. So there's actually two levers, two red handles. The one in the front basically will clamshell open the case. The one on the back is to take it off. But let's go ahead and show them how that opens up. Right there. And then in addition to having side access, there's a little knob on the right-hand side. And what you can do is you can change the size of the bag either in or out. You want to maximize capacity or you don't need it that big, and it's a variable capacity bag. Just terrific.
That's correct. And BMW offers inserts that you can carry as luggage. Pull them out, leave the case on, and bring them into the room. Again, very similar to the FJR. In fact, I ordered my inserts, but they're on back order all over the world, I'm told. All over, not just there.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
And I've been using the FJR ones, which in order to use them, you have to expand the case, and they work quite well. Yeah. Same principle. But yes, very interesting, very appropriate, and very useful. And that's obviously to remove the actual pannier from the bike when you wash it. And
then one other feature related to BMW's integrated systems is called central locking.
Yes.
So with your bags on there, and let's say you are parking at a hotel and you decide to just take the contents out, you can lock the entire bike with your key fob.
Correct.
Or I believe there's a control right on up here for central locking. What does it do? It locks all the bags. It locks your fuel tank.
Correct. And the fork.
And the fork.
When you cock it, usually you do that. But yeah, absolutely, all in one shot, which is really a neat thing.
Alberto has the larger top case, and the neat thing is what BMW did this year is they added extra heated features for a passenger. So I'm going to bring the camera back here. So I'm going to walk up to the hand grips, because right there, the rubberized grip where Jeff is grabbing, that is heated now. And then in addition to that, Umberto said that the backrest, is this right? You're telling me the backrest, right?
Yes.
That's got heat in it too. So isn't that nice for a passenger who's
the
riding?
The seat, of course.
The seat.
I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, the seat, the hand grips, and the backrest. So that's more heated comfort than you have as the the main rider.
It is. I feel really that's not right, but nobody listening to my complaint. And the passenger can control it with the switch at the fingertips.
Okay, nice. Well, there's a lot of neat things here, and as we compare, this video has been about comparing what about the 1250 to the 1300. I think we can unequivocally say that the 1300 is a whole new platform, new engine, new frame, new features, new electronics. It's got a long learning curve, but most importantly, why do you have it? You like riding this.
I do. That's exactly right.
That's the essence.
I mean, why do we all have
Right?
motorcycles?
That's the essence of all this, is we have fun riding these bikes. And
You
so-
showed me one of your Christmas tree ornaments this morning, which
Yeah.
brings it to roost.
It does.
All I want for Christmas is a shiny new motorcycle.
And this is it. Here it is.
We got
It's December,
That's right.
and your wish came true.
It did come through. So
Okay.
it's pretty awesome in that sense. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a joy. It's a joy. And we all love that.